Welcome back on this glorious and amazing day, and a big shout out to my subscribers and followers from Queens, New York. Thanks for joining. You have reached Isaac's W YouTube channel, your online life coach. Welcome. The warning for all those that want to learn the secret of happiness. Just like last week, we talked about the child that begins to freak out when they see the wound, even though they felt the pain, they felt the cut, but yet they don't go out of control, they don't cry out of control. It is only when they see the cut that they become so frightened and so scared that it is so difficult that you need to have the training of how to deal with a child or with a teen or even with an adult that is very, very fearful, and they're so scared, and I totally understand them. What I have noticed over the years and what I've learned myself, that people could have a lot of emotional viruses, but just like in a cut where you physically do not see it, you feel it, but it's sort of okay. So people cannot sleep because obviously there's something going on. They're not content. There's a certain anxiety in them. People don't eat because there's an anxiety. People overeat because there's an anxiety. People have addictions because there's an anxiety. People overwork because there's an anxiety. People can't get out of bed because there's an anxiety. People get into fights with everyone because they're in a fight with themselves and there's an anxiety. And the list goes on and on. So to me, what I just mentioned before is similar to a child just getting a cut, but they didn't see it. Once we see it, it could be very, very overwhelming. And although this program will not be hypnosis, it will not go deep inside, it will just calm your body down for a moment so you could start rewiring your brain, so you could start flushing out or uninstalling the lies and emotional viruses. But when you look on the computer and you see the exact program that you need to click on it in order to uninstall it, you need to notice the virus within you to uninstall it. So you might have had this emotional virus for 5 years, or many of you had it for 50 years and are suffering as a parent, as a grandparent, as a single person, you name it, you're just suffering. You have gone for so much help, and so many of you have gotten so much medication and various medication for psychiatrists, and sadly, some psychiatrists will not go to the source of the problem. They will just numb the problem. So I get you. But therefore, I would like to give this warning and this introduction that before we go ahead, there will be certain precautions. There will be certain, not precautions, sorry, there'll be certain framework that I would like to put place before you go ahead on this journey to uninstall those programs and reinstall new programs. Actually, you don't have to reinstall anything. Once you uninstall it, the natural good you will just emerge, will just shine at it as it did when you were just a child. So next week, please join me, and I will give you those precautions, and I'll give you sort of a little blueprint, a roadmap of what could happen, what happens to some people, what doesn't happen to other people, so you get a little bit of a picture, so you know when you could start doing this work. So I will put it all on the recording, and I will keep on with this beautiful and delightful series. However, you're going to be the one to decide if it is safe for you, and if you're in therapy, you're going to want to discuss it with your therapist. If you're not in therapy, you're going to be able to decide on your own. It's going to be very, very simple. Because for some people, I will suggest you don't go there. You almost like suffer with the pain, but not looking at your wound, because if you look at it, you'll start freaking out. So whatever you did till now, the shopping, the addictions, the eating, the not eating, all those stuff, just continue with everything till you can be in a space that you could do this very, very simple work. And that simple work would be to uninstall the emotional viruses, the contamination, the horrific beliefs, which are just a bunch of lies. And once you uninstall it, you are free. Well, but you're asking, I could see some of you asking, well, that doesn't sound too complex. The reason why it is complex is when someone is so used to living a horrific life, it's almost scary to start living a good life. And the analogy I just gave a few weeks ago is when a baby is born, one of the things they do is they put a diaper. And the baby just poos. And the feeling the baby gets is the poo on the skin. And it does it again, and it does it again, and within 1 week, it might have done it 20 or 30 times. Now the brain of this infant is programmed, this is the comfort zone. When I poo, I'm going to feel it on my skin. After thousands of times going to the bathroom, you suddenly take off the diaper and the child is already knowledgeable. The baby's already 2 years of age, give or take. And suddenly you explain it how it has to do without the diaper. It's fear. It won't smell. It won't be stuck to the skin. It won't feel disgusting. And yet every single baby will reject initially that training because it's not what I'm used to. And let me say it in the full English language. Their skin is used to shit. And that's all they know. So to go and release from the body, and it should be just clean, no smell, and you walk out the bathroom, that's terrifying. And that's why it's so difficult to train. Imagine if you do this for 30 or 50 years. We are so used to all the SHIT, the emotional, the viruses, we don't want it. But our body is terrified and doesn't know what it means to sit in the woods for just 2 hours and just do nothing. It's terrifying. I must be on my phone. I must talk to a friend. I must do the shopping list. I must go shopping. And I must ignore the love of my life, the one I see in the mirror every day. When I decide to look, sometimes I don't want to look because I think she's so ugly. He is so ugly. Yeah, I know that's what you think, but that's not the real case. So please join me next week. And I will give you the exact blueprint of who could and who perhaps should not go on this journey of releasing and uninstalling the emotional virus that will cause you joy and happiness. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It means for at this moment in your life, for these days or these weeks or these months, it's not a good idea to do it. But you will understand, and you will choose on your own because I trust you. Until then, please always remember, you're way greater than you think you are.